You don't need another sunrise to start over. You don't need another calendar page, another decade, another round of effort. You don't need more qualifications, more followers, or more time to get ready. You are not waiting for life to choose you. Life has been waiting for you to speak. Everything that seems delayed, every dream that looks distant, every promise that feels suspended, is standing still for one single reason: silence. The moment you speak the right word, not a wish, not a plea, but a decree, the unseen begins to rearrange itself with divine precision. The great mystic Florence Scovel Shinn once said that the universe responds not to your need, but to your word. And she was right. The creative power that formed galaxies didn't argue or hesitate. It spoke. Let there be light. And light appeared. Not as an idea, not as a theory, as manifestation. The same creative law that shaped worlds is coded within your own voice, waiting for instruction. Until you give it one, the law remains patient but inactive, like a vast orchestra waiting for its conductor to lift the baton. Most people keep asking for signs, hoping for timing, searching for confirmation, when the real key has always been in their mouth. You've written lists, visualized, studied, prayed, and analyzed. But you may have skipped the single act that turns belief into command, speaking the aligned word aloud. There is a vibration in truth when spoken with authority. It doesn't beg. It establishes. It doesn't try. It declares. Imagine your life as a garden that has been designed perfectly in the invisible. The seeds are already there, the abundance, the healing, the opportunity, all embedded beneath the surface. But the soil does not open until it hears your command. When you say the sacred phrase with conviction, you are not creating your destiny, you are activating what was already waiting beneath your hesitation. You were never meant to drift. You were meant to direct. The silence of fear has tricked many into believing that stillness is surrender. But silence is not surrender, it is delay. You cannot lead your life through quiet hope. You must guide it through spoken alignment. Each word you release becomes a line of code in the architecture of your reality. So many walk in circles, repeating stories of almost, someday, maybe later. They are not cursed, nor are they forgotten. They are simply voiceless in a world that was designed to respond to speech. Heaven cannot impose order where you have not invited it through your own declaration. The law of spirit is flawless, but it waits for your participation. It waits for vibration. It waits for voice. Think of a ship sailing in the middle of a vast ocean. The wind is strong, the sails are full, the engine is ready, but there is no direction given. It drifts endlessly, not because it is broken, but because no one has spoken where it should go. That's how most lives unfold, not through failure, but through the absence of instruction. You were not made to wander. You were made to command. You were not born to merely react. You were born to rule, not over others, but over the atmosphere of your own being. When you speak from alignment, your word is law. The unseen listens. Creation bends. Circumstances shift. The universe does not respond to emotion. It responds to authority. The spirit does not move because you are desperate. It moves because you are certain. You are not asking for a miracle. You are authorizing one. The same divine current that moved through prophets, poets, and pioneers runs through you this very moment, waiting for your signal. Ask yourself, what have I been saying lately? What stories have I been repeating? Are my words giving life or prolonging delay? Have I been describing my fear instead of declaring my faith? The law of manifestation does not favor the loudest voice. It favors the aligned one. When you align your speech with truth, the invisible cannot resist. It must obey. The moment you say the right phrase, the one saturated with divine certainty, time itself begins to bow. The waiting ends. The motion begins. The law does not ask, how long? It only responds to, how true? Florence Scovel Shinn taught that life becomes magnetic when we speak from our divine identity instead of our human confusion. Every sentence you speak is either an order or a cancellation. Every word is a doorway to manifestation or a wall of resistance. The choice is constant, and the voice is yours. Let this truth settle deeply. Nothing is missing in your life, only unspoken. The resources, the connections, the openings, they exist right now in the unseen field, coded and ready. What unlocks them is not hope, not hustle, but a phrase aligned with divine law. Before the next sunrise, you could shift the axis of your reality. You could watch the delay dissolve. But it begins when you open your mouth with faith instead of fear. The spirit cannot rewrite your life until you give it language. Now, listen closely. This is not motivation. This is not a pep talk. This is spiritual mechanics. Words are frequencies. Frequencies are commands. Commands move matter. When you declare the truth, your entire vibration reorganizes. The body relaxes. The mind clears. The field responds. You step into a different rhythm, the rhythm of divine order. You are not waiting for the divine. The divine is waiting for you to stop describing your mountain and start commanding it. Waiting for you to speak not as a beggar of blessings, but as a rightful heir of law. In the next breath, you can activate the principle that turns invisible dreams into visible form. But only if you dare to speak with the conviction of someone who knows that heaven backs every word aligned with truth. And when that word is released, the reordering begins. Instantly, invisibly, irresistibly. The law doesn't delay. It doesn't debate. It delivers. The shift starts now. The transformation you seek doesn't begin with movement. It begins with a word. The same current that formed the stars is waiting for a single phrase to be spoken through you. Not just any phrase, but one born from authority, reverence, and divine certainty. The power is not in the syllables. It's in the vibration behind them. When truth passes through your voice, it becomes law. The universe is not emotional. It is obedient. And the obedient respond only to command. So listen carefully. Before this moment ends, you will hold the key to divine acceleration in your hands, a phrase that Florence Scovel Shinn would have called spiritual technology, a sacred alignment encoded in simple language. This phrase has no magic in itself. Its power lies in your faith, your rhythm, your certainty. Spoken correctly, it bends reality. Whispered with conviction, it cancels delay. Declared aloud, it commands the unseen to move. The phrase is this: I now step into the life already prepared for me. It reveals itself within 24 hours by divine law. Read it again in silence. Now imagine saying it out loud with the full weight of your spirit behind it. It's not a wish, it's a decree. When spoken with faith, it becomes a command to the creative field. Each word carries purpose. I now step. That's the law of assumption. You are no longer waiting, guessing, or postponing. You are entering. You are acting as if it's already true, because in the unseen, it already is. Every movement of faith creates magnetic motion. Heaven responds to motion, not hesitation. Then comes the life already prepared for me. That's the law of divine timing. You are not creating your destiny from scratch. You are walking into what has already been designed for you in higher intelligence. Every desire in your heart exists because it was planted there from the invisible realm. When you align with it, you are not building, you are remembering. You are reclaiming what's been waiting in storage under your name. Finally, it reveals itself within 24 hours by divine law. That is the law of accelerated demonstration. The phrase doesn't rush the universe. It simply acknowledges that time bends when vibration aligns. The 24-hour rhythm isn't a deadline. It's a sacred cycle. It's the full rotation of faith. It's your mind saying to reality, I am no longer available for delay. The divine doesn't take time. It takes alignment. Now breathe. Imagine these three laws forming a triangle of light around you. Assumption, divine timing, and demonstration. When you speak the phrase, that triangle becomes your atmosphere. Every thought, every cell, every particle starts to dance to its rhythm. The universe begins reconfiguring to match the new coordinates of your faith. But here's the secret most people miss. You must speak it as law, not as hope. You are not wishing for the right to change. You are executing it. You are the executor of divine authority in your own life. Hope waits. Law commands. Hope delays. Law demonstrates. And once you move into law, hesitation becomes impossible. Now I want you to do something unusual. Something that will anchor this truth deeper than any affirmation ever could. Right here, right now, say it softly but clearly. I now step into the life already prepared for me. It reveals itself within 24 hours by divine law. Did you feel it? That pulse of calm authority in your chest, that's your signal. The field heard you. The law is in motion. Whether the visible result shows up as a phone call, a realization, or a release, it has already begun. And if this message is resonating with you, if something inside you is stirring as if it's being reminded of something ancient, that's not an accident. That's your spirit recognizing truth. So I want to pause here, not to break the flow, but to extend an invitation. Not the mechanical kind, but one that honors the depth of what's happening right now. If these words have opened something in you, subscribe. Not for another motivational video, but for this movement of awakening, for this community that believes in speaking with divine power. Leave a comment below, not just saying, I liked it, but declaring the phrase yourself. Type it as law, not reaction. Tell the universe through your words that you are part of this awakening. I now step into the life already prepared for me. And then, tell us, what began to shift for you when you said it? Because something will. It always does when faith becomes sound. This isn't about numbers, likes, or algorithms. It's about resonance. When one voice speaks truth, others remember theirs. And together, we create a field so strong that manifestation becomes natural. That's how divine law works through community. One declaration becomes many, and the collective vibration rises. Now, come back to your breath. The phrase is simple, but its frequency is ancient. You are aligning with the same spiritual physics that have governed creation since the beginning of time. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that your word is your wand, not because of superstition, but because your word is the code that tells the universe what form to take. So each time you repeat it, see it as a spiritual command, not a chore. Say it before opening your messages, before stepping into a meeting, before beginning your day. Let it precede your actions. Speak it with rhythm, as if your heartbeat and the heartbeat of God are one. And watch how quickly everything around you starts to mirror the authority in your tone. The secret is constancy. One declaration sets the law in motion, but repetition strengthens the current. The goal is not to convince the universe, it's to convince your own vibration. When your inner sound becomes consistent, the outer world has no choice but to comply. And so we speak again. I now step into the life already prepared for me. It reveals itself within 24 hours by divine law. Say it until the rhythm feels like breath. Say it until your doubts grow quiet. Say it until your surroundings start responding, because they will. You are no longer asking for signs. You are giving them. Stay here, in this frequency, in this certainty. Because what begins as a phrase soon becomes a lifestyle, a rhythm of command, a way of walking in authority, a dialogue with creation itself. There's a sacred moment when sound becomes substance, when the invisible bows to the authority of the spoken word. It doesn't happen because the world suddenly changes. It happens because you do. The vibration of your word rearranges the vibration of everything around you. Energy takes its cue from conviction. Matter follows belief. And the shift begins not in the clouds, but in the chambers of your own voice. I once heard of a woman whose life was quietly collapsing, her finances drained, her home uncertain, her hope thinning by the hour. She had tried every logical route, budgets, plans, consultations. But the deeper she tried to fix the visible, the more the invisible resisted. Then she heard these teachings of Florence Scovel Shinn, and something clicked. She realized she had been working hard but never speaking with power. She had prayed in fear but never declared in faith. So she took a simple phrase and made it her law. She didn't whisper it like a wish. She commanded it like a queen restoring order to her realm. She said, "I now step into the life already prepared for me." It reveals itself within 24 hours by divine law. Morning and night, she repeated it, not as ritual but as rhythm. She didn't beg, she didn't negotiate, she decreed. Within a single day, a phone call arrived, a forgotten client offering payment, a door reopening, an old opportunity revived. To the logical mind, it looked like coincidence. But to the spiritual eye, it was law responding to alignment. That's how fast the universe moves when the voice of faith takes command. The law doesn't hesitate. It doesn't measure your worth. It listens to your tone. The vibration of certainty cuts through years of delay and calls your future into the present. There is a physics to this. Spirit isn't mystical fog. It's precise energy. Words carry frequency, and frequency directs form. When you speak from alignment, from that still, unwavering place within, your vibration becomes a blueprint. The quantum field begins to follow the architecture of your decree. Molecules shift. People wake up thinking of you. Emails arrive. Paths straighten. It isn't magic. It's mathematics written in light. The reason most people never see this kind of transformation isn't that the law doesn't work. It's that their words are out of rhythm. They speak truth with their lips and fear with their tone. They say one thing and feel another. The result? Mixed frequencies. Mixed results. But once your voice and your vibration agree, manifestation becomes immediate. Think about it. When an architect finishes the blueprint, construction begins. The universe works the same way. Your phrase is the blueprint. Your faith is the foundation. The law of spirit is the builder. The moment you speak the design clearly, creation starts pouring the concrete. The delays end not because the world suddenly accelerates, but because you've stopped giving it conflicting instructions. Florence Scovel Shinn used to say, "Your word is your wand." She didn't mean this metaphorically. She meant that every syllable carries spiritual voltage. The spoken word imprints your consciousness and commands the field. And when that word is repeated, rhythmically, reverently, consistently, it reshapes the subconscious mind. You see, your subconscious is not a thinker. It's a listener. It does not question the words you repeat. It obeys them. When you say, "I'm stuck," it builds walls. When you say, "I can't," it locks the door. But when you say, "I now step into the life already prepared for me," it begins tearing down the old structure and laying new foundations in real time. The 24-hour law isn't about pressure. It's about momentum. One full cycle of faith, sustained without contradiction, is enough to start a visible shift. It could be a small opening, a text message, an inspired idea. The law doesn't need years. It needs coherence. The delay doesn't exist in heaven. It exists in hesitation. The instant hesitation dissolves, the answer appears. So I'll ask you something most teachers don't. What story are you still repeating that cancels your own command? Are you rehearsing pain? Are you describing lack? Every time you do, you rebuild what you're trying to demolish. Guard your mouth like a sacred temple. Every word that leaves it is either a seed or a thief. Don't let thieves harvest your field. Instead, begin reprogramming the mind through rhythm. Say the phrase aloud in the morning, not as routine, but as ignition. Let it be the first vibration your environment hears. Feel the authority in your tone as you say it. I now step into the life already prepared for me. It reveals itself within 24 hours by divine law. Then at midday, when the world's noise tries to drag you back to logic, pause, breathe, and say it again. The vibration recenters you, pulling your frequency back to alignment. Before bed, whisper it one last time. Let it be the final sound your subconscious receives before the veil of sleep. Because during sleep, the subconscious goes to work building the structure you declared. This is not superstition. This is spiritual neuroscience. You are retraining the most powerful instrument in creation, your mind, to obey divine order. And the more you do it, the less resistance you feel. The more you speak it, the faster life adjusts to your words. There's a reason Florence Scovel Shinn emphasized speech over thought. Thoughts are whispers. Words are thunder. The spirit doesn't move on imagination alone. It moves on command. The act of speaking gives shape to your energy, turning invisible conviction into audible creation. Every word is a bridge from the unseen to the seen. So, practice the rhythm until your system vibrates with it naturally. Let the phrase become your spiritual heartbeat. Say it while driving, walking, cooking, waiting. Say it not from desperation, but from dominion. And watch how your environment begins to mirror your new tone. People treating you differently, opportunities aligning, delays dissolving. It happens quietly, then suddenly, because law works in silence until the moment it blooms in sight. By now, your energy has already shifted just by hearing these words. You may not see the full change yet, but the architecture has been drawn. The vibration has been released. The command is active. And as surely as dawn follows night, your life will begin to unfold in the image of your declaration. When you speak from alignment, life begins to listen differently. The same streets you've walked for years start feeling new, not because they changed, but because your perception finally caught up with your divine rhythm. You no longer walk as someone waiting for miracles. You walk as the miracle itself. This is what Florence Scovel Shinn meant when she said that faith is not passive, it's positional. You take your place in the invisible and command the visible to follow. Every moment of your day becomes a conversation between your vibration and the world around you. Each challenge is no longer an obstacle. It's a test of consistency. The question isn't, will it work? It's, will you stay in rhythm? Because once you start commanding your reality, doubt will try to negotiate. It will whisper that it's unrealistic, that it's too soon, that it's too good to be true. But the divine doesn't recognize that voice, only your command. When contradiction appears, don't argue with it. Don't explain, defend, or plead. Just return to your law. The moment fear rises, breathe and declare, I now step into the life already prepared for me. It reveals itself within 24 hours by divine law. Say it as if the atmosphere depends on it, because it does. That single phrase carries enough voltage to dissolve an entire storm of confusion. You are not reacting to the storm. You are commanding calm. Most people lose their miracles in the hour after they declare them. They plant the seed in the morning and dig it up by noon with worry. But divine law doesn't need your supervision. It needs your trust. Once you've spoken, your only job is to maintain the tone of belief. Faith is not about intensity. It's about consistency. Think of a musician tuning an instrument. If they strike the wrong note, they don't throw away the guitar, they adjust the string. Your mind works the same way. Every time fear strikes a false chord, your word retunes you to divine harmony. Don't wait until you feel it, speak it until you do. The sound creates the feeling, not the other way around. You may ask, but what if nothing happens? And I tell you, the law is not moved by impatience. It's moved by certainty. The unseen often begins its rearranging long before the visible gives proof. Seeds grow silently before they break the soil. So hold your tone. When the doubt comes, answer it with rhythm. When the evidence delays, remind yourself, delay is not denial, it's gestation. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote that every great work is first an invisible vibration before it is a visible fact. That means the moment you speak in alignment, the process is complete in the unseen. What you call waiting is only the visible catching up. So, live as if it's already here. Walk as if you've already entered the prepared life. Don't wait for the evidence to believe. Let your belief be the evidence. When you act, speak, and think as someone who already possesses the outcome, you pull the timeline toward you. You compress the distance between the wish and the realization. There's an elegance to this kind of authority. You stop chasing and start magnetizing. You stop trying to earn and start allowing. You stop performing for the universe and start conversing with it. You're no longer a seeker, you're a co-creator. And with this realization comes peace, not the quiet kind, but the radiant kind that glows from certainty. Peace is the signature of alignment. When you feel peace after speaking your word, that's how you know the law has received your order. But sustaining this peace takes awareness. You must guard your language the way a priest guards a sacred flame. Don't let idle talk undo your alignment. Every complaint is a withdrawal. Every negative story is a reversal. So be deliberate with your speech. Speak less, but when you do, speak light. Let your inner dialogue become your sanctuary. When the world is loud, retreat to your phrase. Whisper it, hum it, feel it moving through your body. I now step into the life already prepared for me. It reveals itself within 24 hours by divine law. Let it become a heartbeat, a rhythm beneath your breathing. This practice is not about perfection. It's about practice. Even when you falter, the law does not punish, it waits. The moment you return to command, the current resumes. The universe does not hold grudges. It responds to now. Every declaration begins a new vibration. Every time you speak truth, your field resets. And in that reset, miracles rush in. Suddenly, the text you've been waiting for arrives. The opportunity you thought was gone reappears. The heaviness you carried lifts. Not because the universe finally noticed you, but because you finally spoke in its language. Now, let's talk about one of the most overlooked parts of spiritual authority: gratitude before manifestation. Gratitude is not the reaction to the gift. It's the activation of it. When you speak your phrase, add thanksgiving to your tone. Feel it as done, and gratitude will amplify the vibration of certainty. Say it as if the blessing has already landed in your hands. Thank you, divine law, that the life prepared for me now unfolds with ease and speed. Gratitude closes the circuit. It seals the decree. It tells the universe, I trust you enough to stop watching the clock. And if you ever feel your energy wavering, remember this. It's not your job to understand how the law fulfills your word, only to know that it does. The divine handles the logistics. You handle the alignment. The moment you speak in faith, the blueprint transfers to heaven's architecture. The law begins sculpting the reality that matches your vibration, and no external resistance can stop what's been activated by truth. So the next time someone asks you how you stay so calm, tell them this: because I no longer live in chance, I live in law. And if you've been feeling something awaken within you through these words, that warmth in your chest, that pulse of recognition, it's because your soul remembers. It knows this principle. It's ancient. You're not learning something new. You're remembering something eternal. Before we enter the final part of this message, take one more moment to speak your phrase aloud, not as repetition, but as revelation. I now step into the life already prepared for me. It reveals itself within 24 hours by divine law. Let every word echo through the corridors of your being. Let every syllable feel like the turning of a key. Because in truth, the door has already been unlocked. You only needed to speak. At some point, every soul reaches a crossroad, the place between exhaustion and revelation. You've tried everything logic could offer. You've waited, worked, worried, adjusted, analyzed. But nothing external will ever replace the power of internal alignment. And right here, right now, you are standing at that threshold, the moment when your silence becomes sound and your command becomes creation. This is the secret Florence Scovel Shinn dedicated her life to teaching: that your word, spoken with faith, carries the very breath of God. It is the mechanism through which the unseen takes form. When you speak truth with conviction, you're not asking the universe to notice you. You're reminding it who you are. You are not a spectator of divine order. You are a participant in it. Every phrase you speak with alignment becomes architecture. Every word becomes law. Every declaration sends a signal across the invisible that says, adjust everything to match this truth. And the universe, being faithful to its design, obeys. When you begin to live this way, You realize how much energy you've wasted waiting for permission. Permission from time, from others, from circumstances. But creation never required permission. It required participation. The moment you choose to speak with authority, the gates of manifestation swing open. So tonight, as you prepare to sleep, I want you to do something sacred. Turn off the noise. Step into stillness. Feel the breath move through you like light. And before your head meets the pillow, say it again, not out of routine, but as command. I now step into the life already prepared for me. It reveals itself within 24 hours by divine law. Say it as if heaven itself were listening, because it is. Say it with gratitude, not need. With faith, not doubt. With certainty, not fear. And then release it. Let it go. Don't watch the clock. Don't search for signs. Simply rest in the knowing that the law, once activated, never fails. When you wake in the morning, your vibration will already be different. You may not understand why you feel lighter, clearer, more centered, but you will. Because overnight, the blueprint began unfolding. The law has been building in silence, reshaping what once resisted into what now aligns. And when that sign appears, that message, that breakthrough, that unexpected call, remember, it didn't come out of nowhere. It came from your word. It came from the authority you finally remembered you have. This is the rhythm of divine manifestation. Not slow, not complicated, not reserved for the few. It's immediate for the aligned. The delay was never in heaven. It was only in hesitation. You are not late. You are right on time. Because time bends around faith. Every time you declare your truth, you pull the future closer, compressing what once seemed distant into a single now. And that's why this phrase, this sacred decree, carries the vibration of immediacy. Not because you are impatient, but because divine law does not procrastinate. Florence Scovel Shinn used to remind her students, the game of life is a game of boomerangs. Whatever you send out returns. Every word you speak is that boomerang, and now that you are sending out truth, certainty, and law, what will return to you is demonstration, harmony, provision, and peace. So let the old language fall away, the words of worry, the tones of doubt, the stories of waiting. They no longer belong to you. Speak differently. Move differently. Expect differently. And the world will respond differently. And now, as this message comes to a close, I want to speak directly to your heart. If something within you has awakened, if you can feel the resonance of these truths vibrating through your body, it's not coincidence. It's remembrance. Your spirit has recognized its own power. So don't let this moment fade. Nurture it. Declare it. Let's build something extraordinary together. A community of people who refuse to wait for miracles because they've learned to speak them. If this teaching has moved you, if you feel lighter, clearer, stronger, subscribe, not as a formality, but as an act of alignment. Subscribe because you belong to this rhythm of truth. Because this is where you'll remember who you are, week after week, word after word. And before you leave, I want to hear from you. Share your story in the comments. Tell us what happened when you said the phrase. Tell us the first sign that appeared, the first vibration that shifted, the first moment you realized the law was real. Because your testimony isn't just personal. It's a spark that reignites faith in someone else. Your story becomes someone's confirmation. When you share, you amplify the vibration of belief across the collective. That's how divine law expands, not through doctrine, but through demonstration. So here, as one voice among many, we close with the phrase that resets universes and restores rhythm to the soul. I now step into the life already prepared for me. It reveals itself within 24 hours by divine law. Say it one final time, slowly, reverently, as if speaking it to the very foundation of creation itself. Let it fill your lungs. Let it roll through your body. Feel it anchor into your cells. You are no longer the person who waits. You are the one who commands. You are no longer hoping for alignment. You are alignment. The law does not resist you. It recognizes you. And when you finish speaking, Smile softly, because everything you asked for in silence has already begun to move toward you. It has heard your voice. It is on its way. And so it is.